What's up, everybody?
What's up, everybody? How you doing? Happy Wednesday. I am
Yeah.
Kaisa. Nice to see a lot of familiar faces in here. What's up, everybody?
What's up, DGN fam? This is Marone. Yes, Dragos, you like in your heart?
Heart badges. I think we're still waiting on the emotes to come in, but at least we have the badges up.
We are. They're coming. They're there. They're in the process. They've been submitted. They will be there. They will be there soon. We love them very much. How's everyone's? It's Wednesday, right? I lose track of time.
It is Wednesday.
I lose track of time. Yeah. Hope everybody's hump day is good.
Tough. I hope you're all having a great Wednesday. We've got some news today. It's actually kind of a slow news day, but we found a lot of hot stories, good stories, things with glitches, new announcements. We're going to start off with Nvidia and how they announced their new RTX 3080 GPU, and we're going to get into a lot of news about their graphics card, as well as get into Cyberpunk 2077 and how that ties into their graphics card.
Yeah, there's actually been quite a few games that were released of trailers showing off ray tracing. Along with Cyberpunk will be Watch Dogs Legions, as well as Fortnite and Call of Duty Black Ops.
We're also getting into some news, which you might have heard yesterday, about the Twitch employee that was accused of sexual assault and how they are no longer with the company. We're going to get into Madden 21's absurd glitches and how gamers are getting their revenge on reviews.
We're also going to be showing off Dead by Daylight is getting a free PS5 and Xbox Series X update with a graphical overhaul trailer coming along with that.
And if we have time, we're going to get into Quantum Error's official 4K gameplay preview.
Finally, gameplay for Quantum Error to see it in action. And then, of course, as always, what's in the mug?
What's in the mug? Cheers, Calf. What's up, Calf?
Hey, Calf, what's going on, brother?
Good stuff. So let's get right into it. As Nvidia announces their new RTX 3080 GPU, priced at $699 and launching September 17th.
So Nvidia has unveiled its new GeForce RTX 3000 series graphics card yesterday. Nvidia has been teasing these new cards for weeks, and there have also been plenty of leaks before the RTX 3080 GPU was made official. And based on NVIDIA's new Ampere architecture, the RTX 3080 is designed to succeed the RTX 2080 and 2080 Ti cards with improved performance and ray tracing support.
Nvidia is promising big performance with the RTX 3080, up to 2 times that of the RTX 2080, and faster than even Nvidia's RTX 2080 Ti card. The card will ship with 10 gigabytes of GDDR6 memory, GDDR6X memory, and will be priced at $699 when it ships on September 17th. Nvidia is using 8,704 CUDA cores on the RTX 3080, combined with a 1.71 gigahertz boost clock.
Yeah, and just like Guff was saying, these are power hogs. And if you look at the Mac Daddy of the RTX 3080, it is massive. So at the heart of the new GPU is an updated thermal design. NVIDIA has created a new pennant-shaped board for the RTX 3080, combined with a new cooling shroud. And the new cooling solution is designed to improve airflow and overcome some of the constraints of the cooling solutions that existed on the RTX 2080 today.
It includes a dual fan setup that is designed to improve airflow by more than 55%, with promises of much quieter and more efficient cooling. NVIDIA is using a bracket exhausting front fan with a flow-through rear fan.
And NVIDIA is using a new 12-pin connector on the RTX 3000 cards, which is smaller than using traditional 8-pin connectors. The company is also going to be including an adapter that's compatible with 8-pin cables with its Founders Editions card. NVIDIA has picked a 12-pin connector to allow more space on the board for components and cooling.
Alongside the RTX 3080, NVIDIA is also launching a cheaper RTX 3070 priced at $499 in October. This will still be a more capable card than the prior RTX 2080 at a lot less cost. The performance bump will also put the RTX 3070 comfortably above the 1080 Ti and 1080 cards for 1440p gaming.
So this 3070 card will use a similar cooling solution to the 3080 with NVIDIA's promise of improved thermals and quieter operation. NVIDIA's RTX 3070 will be available at some point in October, priced at $499, and NVIDIA is using 5,888 CUDA cores on the RTX 3080 combined with the 1.71 1.71 gigahertz boost clock, and 8 gigs of GDDR6 memory.
While the RTX 3080 will ship with 10 gigabytes of GDDR6X memory, the RTX 3090 ships with a huge 24 gigabytes of GDDR6X memory. Nvidia is promising that the RTX 3090 will be capable of 60 FPS gaming at 8K resolutions. This new flagship card is more akin to Nvidia's Titan series and will ship on September 24th, priced at $1,499.
This thing is a brick. The RTX 3090 is based on NVIDIA's Ampere GPU architecture, which promises some impressive performance gains for PC gaming and ray tracing. NVIDIA claims that the 3090 is the world's first 8K gaming GPU with 8K HDR shadow play support, HDMI 2.1, and a whole lot more. And NVIDIA is using 10,496 CUDA cores on the 3090, combined with a boost clock of 1.7 gigahertz and 24 gigs of that GDDR6X memory.
Nvidia is labeling the RTX 3090 a big, ferocious GPU, or a BF GPU. The card will occupy 3 slots and include a silencer to make it up to 10 times quieter than the existing Titan RTX graphics card. Nvidia says the RTX 3090 will also be up to 50% faster than the Titan RTX and will require a 750-watt power supply. The card itself is expected to utilize about 350 watts of power.
Now, while the 3090 clearly promises big power, it's also huge in physical dimensions. As I mentioned, it's like a giant brick. Like, card measures 313 millimeters in length compared to the 285 for the 3080. And it also occupies 3 slots compared to the more common 2, meaning PC builders will have to consider which type of case to slot this into.
Nvidia only just announced this card alongside the RTX 3080, so we're still waiting to hear what exactly, the type of performance we can expect to see in regular games with and without ray tracing. Given the big promises of 8K gaming, this could be the card we've been waiting for to really push 4K gaming into higher frame rates and a more reliable performance.
Seriously, like, when I tell you that this thing is massive, like, you have to take a look at it. Somebody did a comparison of the size of it with, like, the comparison of the size with the Xbox Series X. And I'm just waiting for, these GPUs to come with, power supplies just connected directly into them, because these GPUs are becoming more and more massive as they roll out. But the power that they're able to push and the graphical quality, they did show off some of their own, tech demos that were made in-house, but they kind of just blew my mind with how beautiful the graphics looked on these tech demos.
They're really impressive. I just saw one on Twitter and the caption was like, when, this graphics card makes things look better than they do in real life. And, just the amount of realism and how they can handle the lighting is just wild. I think the craziest thing to me might be the price point. That, in this 3000 series, there's going to be a $699 option, for the RTX 3080, compared to graphics cards of, last year or the current generation, some of them are more expensive than this and they're not nearly as robust.
Yeah, I'm actually going to pull up this marble demo that they showed and play it for you here, just so you see that going on as we're talking, because this is part of what they were showing off, was like how your graphics will be able to look. And some of the RTX trailers that we're actually going to get into and show, it's going to really cement how the graphic quality of these RTX cards are no joke. And for me, I have an RTX at home. Mine's a 2070. This isn't, I don't think, enough to justify an upgrade, but what it is showing is where the graphical quality of our gaming is about to go. And to see some of these current games, like when we show the Fortnite one, as well as Black Ops Cold War, it is really impressive to see how realistic this looks.
Like, what I'm seeing on the screen, if you're like, oh, this was, filmed, I'd be like, yeah, obviously. It's not. Like, this is the graphics card in action. I think this is insane, how good this looks. And as you mentioned, maybe if you already have, a 2070, 2080 Ti, or if you just bought one in the chat, hopefully if you just bought one, you can return one. I don't know if you've opened the package, but still, that's going to be a good card for a while. But this is just next level. And, I think that this is also important for 4K gaming, because when people try to play games at 4K, the frame rate is a lot, lower. Some people think it's not really worth it. And if you buy, the 3080, you better have a really nice monitor as well, else you're not really going to, reap the full rewards here.
I don't know who's gaming on an 8K monitor. I mean, that's the other thing too. Is I feel like that is really a GPU that's like, hey, wealthy elite, buy our GPU and enjoy. I also think it benefits our CGI artists that are out there and our animators that are out there, that they will start using these cards, because this doesn't just mean it's only gaming, right? So when we take into account the other industry that we are still mesmerized by every time we see a new Pixar film or we see some other new DreamWorks, you take a look at this and you're just like, wow, I can't imagine what these worlds are going to even start to look like. And also, if you're in that place now of like, should I upgrade my card? I think if you're not yet in the RTX cycle, you can now make the jump. I feel like now you're at the place where the 2000 series is probably going to drop down. And if you have the money to jump into 3000 series, $499 is not bad to jump over in there and start to get the ray tracing quality. So you could be in that position, obviously do what you want with your money, but you are in a good position to make a transition to a huge upgrade from the GTX to the RTX.
And hopefully, this is the end of graphics card, prices being really inflated due to mining cryptocurrency. When I built my computer like 3 years ago now, all the prices were, really up there. And people were saying, well, everyone's buying graphics cards to mine crypto. That's why it's so expensive. And just hearing that these prices aren't, totally insane makes me think that like, oh, maybe this is a return to normal. Maybe this is the end of, that inflation because of crypto. Hopefully now graphics cards are back to normal at a normal price, really.
Exactly. Yeah. And let's go ahead and just kind of like take a look at what we have already shown a little bit of and what we will be seeing, as they delivered a ton of trailers, and all of these RTX trailers are coming for these games that are going to be played on next-gen consoles, as well as the PC versions that we will get when we see them. But the first one we're going to show off, it looks amazing, and it's so exciting to see what Cyberpunk 2077 is going to look like in ray tracing. But the first trailer we've got for you is their official one from the Nvidia event.
It's a mature game. Watch your eyes, boomer. I'm not looking.
The song slaps.
I think the lighting is so important for this game. A lot of people are drawn to this game solely for the neon lights. Like, there's great lore, there's great story, but some people are just like, I love the neon. I love the 80s kind of neon look. And I think it's great that, we saw what it looks like with ray tracing to really, make that even more alive.
Couldn't say that enough. With that setting, when you think of a film that inspires like Blade Runner, Fifth Element, a lot of these just, near future realities, the lighting is so important, especially at night with, like you were saying, all the neon going on. Like that is just going to be, I think that's just going to be one of those feelings where you're just going to have players playing Cyberpunk 2077 with their RTX cards, and they're just going to stop and just like take in the visual, surroundings.
I can already see, like cyberpunk, like wallpapers, or just like lo-fi and like 2 hours of just like Cyberpunk 2077, like slow TV footage, like just for the aesthetic.
100%. Where you're not even actually playing the game. You're like, let's just walk around Night City, guys. Let's just walk around Night City. Come along here.
Watch out for that YouTube video. I'll just be like, just taking in the sights of Night City.
That's exactly right. Well, another one that I think deserves hype, because this is going to be really cool to see how it handles it, is Fortnite is also being shown off with ray tracing footage, which I think is a huge upgrade for this game. So let us go ahead and take a look at this trailer, because it really does bring a whole new look and feel and life to the game.
And we haven't really talked about, Fortnite in a while. We've mainly been talking about Epic Games. So we're bringing back the Fortnite talk for those of you who missed it.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Oh, the reflections.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
I mean, it looked like an animated film.
Yeah.
That's
I
the
think
thing.
the reflections are next level. Yeah.
Yeah, that moment where I'll try to pull it up. Where is it? Here when the cars drive by. Yeah, here it is. I'll pull this up. I'll transition. That right there, right? That'll be something that
Yes.
you'll be using to your advantage. So
Oh,
if you're running
totally.
and there's somebody running behind you, you'll be able to see that in the reflection.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty amazing feature to have, especially in these battle royales. I'm
I
really
wonder if
excited to see Fortnite in action with RTX.
I wonder if we're also going to see, a bump in, how high you can push the graphics in Fortnite, because I know Fortnite
Yeah.
likes to keep its, cartoony style, but I think within that, there are things you could do. Like we saw with Ratchet and Clank, like it was
Yeah.
supposed to look cartoony, but it was still really impressive. I don't
my
think
God.
Fortnite is, going to approach that level at all, but I think there are things it could do to, I've noticed the hair has been getting like more realistic on the characters, as time goes on. And I think there are, other elements that they can also push.
Yeah, and what was interesting was during this global GeForce event, the Nvidia marketing vice president Matt Webling said this: that Epic Games is turning Fortnite, which is already a pop culture sensation, into a showcase for how competitive gaming will improve with technology. Fortnite players are about to experience the stunning visuals of next-level ray tracing, AI accelerated frame rates powered by Nvidia's DLSS, and our new low latency esports technology suite, Nvidia's Reflex.
Sorry. So
problem.
we saw the trailer, but let's get into, what's actually getting pushed into the game, what new features are coming. We're going to start with 4 ray traced features that will look into, to how it will bring the visuals of Fortnite to a whole new level.
So the first one is ray traced reflections, as we saw in that one quick little pause of the video, is that it recreates the way light actually reflects on glossy and metallic surfaces, including smooth natural mirrors like window glass and rougher surfaces like brushed metal.
There will be ray traced shadows, so it will accurately model shadowing on many surfaces while enhancing surface and contact detail. And there will be fixes to problems associated with traditional shadow techniques.
We also have ray trace global illumination, which calculates world lighting with massively increased precision, illuminating Fortnite's environments, players, and characters with unprecedented detail, fidelity, and clarity.
And ray traced ambient occlusion, where objects or surfaces meet, light is occluded, creating subtle shadows that can highlight the slightest of surface details.
So with the DLSS, as we know, will look to sharpen the image quality while also boosting frame rates, something that is always needed in competitive games like Fortnite. And finally, there is inclusion of Nvidia's Reflex, something that is said to measure and reduce system latency, letting people improve responsiveness and increase their precision. Again, something pretty useful in a game that has you shooting at each other, particularly over large distances. Maybe some of us will finally hit our targets.
Fortnite is one of the very first games to support NVIDIA Reflex, with Nick Penwarden, Vice President of Engineering at Epic Games, having this to say.
So NVIDIA's Reflex technology arms developers with new features to minimize latency in their games. We are seeing excellent responsiveness and player control with Fortnite running on the GeForce RTX 30 series.
Is it bad that one of my first thoughts with this is how good are the Fortnite concerts going to be with a 3080 graphics card here?
I mean, the biggest downfall right now to playing with ray tracing is it's so hard to get maximum frames when you're playing.
Yes.
Like if I play Warzone, that is turned off. If I play campaign, I turn it on, right? Because it's an amazing experience. Now you're saying like, we're going to reduce that. We're getting closer to the point where RTX is going to handle 240 frames, 300 frames, whatever it's going to be, where you're just naturally playing with RTX and you're used to it at the max frame rate that you can reach in gaming.
Totally. I think this is the next step in, ray tracing is really cool, but it does seem a little more niche. You can only have it on if you're in campaign, if you're not, in some big multiplayer firefight. You can't have it on in those circumstances because your game will become unplayable. So I think this is, the necessary next step of like, okay, we have this feature, but now you can actually really use it and, really utilize it and not just have it be, something that's more niche or kind of feels like a gimmick because it's there, but it doesn't really add anything in a lot of cases.
Yeah, and like Dragos and Kane were saying, like, I'm okay with that. That day will come. It's on the way. We're inching very close to it, if not getting there within a year, maybe 2, because this next game that we're going to show that they showed off is Watchdog Legions. Now, it's not obviously as great as what Cyberpunk 2077 looked like, but it is supposed to be said, while it supports the Nvidia's DLSS technology, will allow the game to be played up to 8K resolution, and will also be one of the first titles to support the DLSS Ultra Performance mode, which makes 8K gaming possible when playing on that 3090. So driving 8K is incredibly demanding. It's 33 million pixels per frame. That's 4 times the size of 4K.
Oh my God. So the new DLSS Ultra Performance mode delivers 9 times AI super resolution, which is 1440p internal rendering output at 8K using AI, while maintaining crisp image quality. And along with the GeForce RTX 3090's 24GB frame buffer and powerful rendering capabilities, 8K is now a reality even in demanding ray traced games like Legion.
So let's go ahead and take a look at the trailer.
Just nudge them out of my lane. Got a show at 10, we're on the M way. My boy just bought a new suit and he's got a
It looks good.
It looks beautiful.
while you man lays around the whole day.
Wow, all the reflections look so clean.
They really do. What's up, EG? I mean, that looked like Forza, the racing title, so that's impressive. Wow.
Now this game's getting dark. The dystopia looks so realistic.
Right? It's like, is that today? No, it's a game. Okay. Oh, that was a cool little face mask. Man. Oh, my God.
Dang.
Yeah.
So, for a limited time, you can get a PC digital download of Watch Dogs Legion to experience second-generation ray tracing, cinematic quality visuals, and performance-enhancing AI-powered DLSS. So you can, make sure you can try your digital download, or if you're going to play Watch Dogs Legion, and if you're going to get one of these new graphics cards to really push it to the limit.
Definitely something to check out. I love Dragos' comment. I don't care about anything else. I just want Cyberpunk. I totally get that feeling. I'm right there with you. I think a lot of us are in that position. Just give us Cyberpunk.
Right,
just give
please.
us Cyberpunk. But the next trailer that we are going to show is one that there is a lot of hype around. I mean, there's no denying what is going to be the surge of players jumping into Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. And of course, this NVIDIA event had an RTX demo to show off the ray tracing gameplay for Black Ops Cold War.
So if the reveal of NVIDIA's 3000 series of GeForce GPUs got your attention, then you've got to check out this reveal that we're about to show of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War's ray tracing support, complete with ambient lighting and support for DLSS. For fledgling content creators, Black Ops Cold War will also support NVIDIA Ansel and NVIDIA Highlights, same as last year's Call of Duty.
Now, we're going to be honest that there isn't much gameplay in this gameplay trailer for Black Ops Cold War. Instead, This minute-long trailer is going to focus on the power of ray tracing and all of the neat lighting tricks that the next generation of GPU can handle. And honestly, I think we should face it, with a $1,500 graphics card on the horizon, you should know what you're spending pretty much a full month's rent on for this PC upgrade.
Something that Nvidia is only beginning to talk about with their partnership with Activision is the incorporation of their new Nvidia Reflex technology. To quote Nvidia themselves, Nvidia Reflex optimizes system latency in competitive games, making gameplay more responsive, giving you a competitive edge.
So Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War is going to be available across both current gen and next gen consoles, as well as PCs, starting with a release for all available platforms currently on November 13th. Then the enhanced edition will release on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X soon after, with their respective console releases, something both manufacturers don't seem too keen on revealing their hands of when they will be, in fact, out and available. And of course, the PC release will remain a Battle.net exclusive.
One of the few reasons I still have Battle.net on my computer.
Same. But let's go ahead and check out this gameplay trailer.
That looks clean.
Wow. Oh, there's some gameplay. There it is. Wow. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I don't think it's any surprise that we take a look at the graphic quality of RTX within Call of Duty, and we're just impressed by how it looks. There is, if you do have time, because we have some other stories to jump into, won't be showing it, but there is a rendition of the beginning of the Call of Duty Modern Warfare campaign with these new 3000 series RTX cards. And it is breathtaking to look at. There are moments when flashlights are in your face and walking through the woods. I was super impressed by what I was seeing, and I'm really excited for Black Ops Cold War. This is going to be pretty big for graphic quality.
Thank you so much, Kane, for gifting a sub to Virus. We really appreciate it. What is up, Virus?
What's up, Virus?
This is getting me so hyped for PC gaming and in these new games and, next gen, especially because this isn't something that's, wildly out of a lot of PC gamers' price ranges.
Yeah.
I know these are very expensive. A lot of PC gamers, especially, that also stream on Twitch, do realize that. And it's kind of, at least in my head, it's something like, I know it's going to be this much. I've just accepted that fact. I'm going to save up for this kind of thing. And it's making me really excited because I've also been playing on I've been playing League of Legends on the lowest settings, to give you an example of how my computer's doing.
Yeah.
So this is really cool, to see Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War and Fortnite and Watch Dogs Legion, Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah.
And this is making me want to play Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, even though I'm not super hyped for this game personally. I'm not a big Call of Duty player, but just seeing that trailer, I'm like, okay, now maybe I might be.
Totally, yeah. And with the I think the first, what was it, the 360 hertz monitor came out, or 320, I can't remember. There's a 300 plus hertz monitor that just came out, and I was just seeing that comment in the chat regarding these new monitors. Yeah, you're talking the GPUs, you're talking the monitors. Gonna upgrade your case, you're probably gonna need to upgrade your motherboard, gonna need to upgrade your power supply. I mean, just next gen PC gaming is gonna be crazy expensive. This really actually could be the reason why we see this surge of next gen console players in the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, because what they have under the hood is going to be sufficient to having an amazing gaming experience. Maybe you're not going to be at the highest frames, but maybe you do want the quality that you were seeing in these trailers. It's hard to deny how clean that gameplay was looking.
It looks so good, and I know a lot of gamers are going to be waiting, for Black Friday to get some of these other peripherals or to get, monitors, new upgrades in time for holiday. So if you have the budget, fingers crossed, I hope you all do, or at least some of you do. I hope that you'll be able to get a nice shiny new PC, or at least some new PC parts and upgrades, to celebrate next gen, and to also enjoy your quarantine more at home.
That is right. But moving on to our next story is one that I think comes with no surprise based on the information surrounding this, is that a Twitch employee who was accused of sexual assault is no longer with the company.
So part of why I wanted this story in today's news is because, it was brought to me in my stream last night. Some of you heard about this and was like, what's happening here? So yes, back in June, Hassan Bakari, not Hassan Abi. Some people were thinking that this is Hassan the streamer. This is Hassan, a former Twitch employee. So back in June, Hassan Bakari, accounts director of strategic partnerships at Twitch, was accused of sexual abuse and assault by a Twitch streamer named Vio. Now, after an investigation that began months ago, Twitch has banned Bakari from the platform, and he is no longer an employee at Twitch.
Yesterday evening, Twitch banned Bakari's channel, leading to speculation that he had been terminated from the company after a long period of radio silence. Two sources who wish to remain anonymous have since told Kotaku, who reported this, that he is indeed no longer an employee at Twitch. Additionally, his account's staff status has been removed. And this comes in the wake of the investigation that, according to one source, began at the end of June and was led by an external investigator hired by Amazon.
A Twitch representative declined to comment on Bakari's employment status, but acknowledged other elements of the investigation. They said, "We take these accusations extremely seriously, and we engaged a reputable third-party firm to conduct a thorough and impartial investigation into the allegations," the spokesperson told Kotaku into an email. They continued on to say, "While it is our policy to keep individual employment information confidential, the investigation has concluded, and we have taken action in accordance with the investigators' findings." So on this show, on DGN, we won't be detailing the events that allegedly occurred. They are pretty upsetting to read. But if you want to, find an in-depth description, you can find one on Kotaku's website.
And they did, in fact, attempt to reach out to Bakari as of this article being published. There was, however, no response. Vio told Kotaku that she's satisfied with how the investigation into the conduct concluded, but not with Twitch's overall handling of the summer's rash of sexual abuse and assault allegations involving streamers, all of which the company said in June that it was reviewing, quote, as quickly as possible, end quote, but which they've only resulted in a small handful of bans so far.
"It's bittersweet," Vio said to Kotaku in a direct message. "As happy as I am that they got rid of the predator, there's still a ton of predators and abusers that are streaming on Twitch." And Vio said that, "I wish that those victims got the justice they deserve as well, or at least some communication." They continued to say, "It makes me angry that they don't take the other victims as seriously. It also definitely feels like they took their time even after I sent them a ton of evidence, which to me shows that they were still trying to protect him." I personally, I understand that, swift justice is ideal, but this is also huge for someone to have their career potentially ended, by something like this. I think it's important that Twitch make sure, all their I's are dotted and T's are crossed, and that the investigation, comes to the correct conclusion.
Yeah, that's kind of where I felt. I get her response to that. I totally understand when you suffer something as atrocious as she suffered, something I think we can all agree on that shouldn't have happened.
Right.
Or we should all agree on it. It shouldn't happen. But yeah, I think on Twitch's end, they have to do their due diligence to ensure that everything going on is in fact true. All the evidence that they have is not biased. That if justice is to be served, that it's served correctly the way we're supposed to, which is innocent until proven guilty. I think that's the fair approach to take for everyone. So yeah, that might have been why it just took a little bit more time. Plus, if more allegations and claims were coming out during this whole event, it's probably not the only one that they were having to address and deal with.
That's definitely true. I'm sure it wasn't on the, forefront of their minds, to have a whole investigation team. I don't think they anticipated, all of these allegations to come out, especially at once. So I'm sure they have a lot on their plate. I hope to hear, more people being rooted out if there were, allegations about, more staff members, hopefully, those stories come to, a conclusion, and wrongs are made right. I also noticed that this is kind of a difference of kind of old school Twitch versus new school Twitch. In that, a lot, like the allegations around, Mr. Bakari, was that he was kind of taking advantage of her and that she was an affiliate, and he was like, oh, well, I work at Twitch, I can get you partnered. And
sounds like that Ubisoft story.
Yes. And when I started at Twitch, 3 years ago, I heard that a lot of like, oh, well, if you know a staff member, you can get partnered. But nowadays in Twitch, if you know a staff member, they can't do anything for you, because Twitch is a lot more professional and corporate, and I think a lot more,
Makes
strict
sense.
with their rules, which is good, which is necessary. And I think this, at least to me, shows that, that old way of like, oh, you've got to know someone, like you've got to get your in, Twitch staff can pull all these strings for you. Like those days are gone.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and they should be gone. It should be handled.
They should be gone.
It should be handled in the way that it is now. That's just the fair way to do it, to give everybody that chance. I will say that we're obviously going to keep an eye on any more allegations that come out or get addressed or get handled. But I will say I am glad that they did come to a decision. It wasn't the middle of the road kind of decision. It was, this is our decision. This evidence is true, and we are in fact terminating this person and removing their channel. That is something I think we're gonna have to get used to a little bit as more of this behavior, like you were saying, like old school versus new school. I think we still have a generation or a mindset that has bled over into more of a, I want to say like a woke society to how we should be treating one another. Right. That we're gonna probably see a little bit more of this in the next year or so, and then we'll hopefully get it out of our system and get it out of our professions.
I hope so, because it feels like there's been a lot of news like this, and I don't like having to, report on it all the time, but it is important for people to hear. I'd like to take, at least this story as, a positive story, or ultimately positive, in that, this terrible thing happened, which shouldn't have happened. The victim spoke out, and, justice was served. I hope that is the arc for a lot more of these stories. And it shows that, people coming out on social media to help find justice for these things, can work.
Yeah, absolutely. What doesn't seem to work is our next story. And this is funny because I was a huge fan of this series early on. And I did work on one edition of this game when I lived in Orlando, which is that Madden 21 is full of glitches. And I gotta say, as someone who worked there, I'm not surprised.
So Madden is undoubtedly the most iconic sports franchise in the history of video games, but it has fallen off considerably in the past several years. Some people might argue it's been more than that. So beloved game features like the franchise mode have been neglected in favor of developing new game modes like Madden Ultimate Team that are driven by microtransactions. It has a pay-to-play model essentially on top of the game's $60 price tag, and then there are glitches, and a lot of them.
So in recent years, glitches have been seen that have made players nearly impossible to tackle. Even one where a kick returner who caught a ball in their own end zone were awarded an automatic touchdown. There was another glitch that carried over from last year's game where the ball had been getting stuck on a player's helmet as he runs downfield. It's hilarious to watch.
And it's kind of gotten to the point where you can just set your calendar to it. Every year in late August, social media is going to be flooded with clips of ridiculous bugs from the latest Madden, and this year is no different. And there are issues of what seems to be outright laziness, like failing to update the field graphics in the face of the franchise career mode, or just recycling the Super Bowl celebration montage.
Yeah, and just real quick, Guff, yeah, I worked, when I lived in Central Florida, I worked at EA Tiburon for about 8 months. I worked on Madden 2010, if I was there, 2009. And I'll say it was, I've mentioned this before. when you see that Electronic Arts gets a poor review as an industry, like it always is like one of the lower, like worst places to work. There is a real reason for that. It is the crunch culture. It is there doesn't seem to be a lot of respect for the lower tier employees there, and everyone is super cutthroat over at EA. At least when I was there, and what it sounds like to still be going on. And these bugs don't surprise me whatsoever. It really doesn't.
That's so awful to hear. And whenever I hear about a bad company culture, I really do think that it comes from the top. So that's just, I think that this is a good example of, how a bad culture can bleed into a bad game. Really.
Yeah, that's the truth too, because they crank those games out very fast. And part of the reason you get these glitches is because their turnaround time on getting Maddens out, it's a factory. It's not really like, hey, let's take the time like a CD Projekt Red and make sure to have like the best possible football simulator. They're like, nope, get it out each year. The ball's stuck to their head, get it out. That's cool. Kicker got a touchdown, catching it in the zone, end zone. Who cares? Get the game out. We need the ultimate team, microtransactions. You guys want a campaign? Nope, you don't get that. We want your money. Sorry.
It seems it's warranted, if they're going to try to cut corners here. And it seems like gamers are trying to get their revenge on that, factory of this terrible products coming out, because the reaction of gamers has been to start tweeting with the hashtag NFL Drop EA and bombard the game's Metacritic page with negative reviews. As of earlier this morning, users have submitted 2,571 ratings for the PS4 edition of the game, 43 positive, 15 mixed, and 2,513 negative. The game's user rating is 0.3 out of 100, which is the lowest of any game on the site.
This kind of brigading is common in gamer culture, and it's important to note that while the prevalence of glitches is undeniable, the game isn't as bad as the horde of hashtaggers would like you to believe, because the 17 professional critic reviews logged by Metacritic are predominantly mixed, saying that the game isn't great, but it's fine.
Fine is what fans have come to expect from Madden, though, and it's fair to ask for an improvement on a series that so many people remember so fondly. A lot of people would get the latest Madden every single year. It's something they really, look out for. They covet this, but now that seems like it's not really worth looking forward to.
Yeah, and that's where we're in a position of just feeling like the bad news for gamers is hoping to see the NFL kick EA to the curb, right? And let a new company take a crack at the football game. 2K. And hopefully that is something that could happen, but there is an exclusive licensing deal worth $1.5 billion that runs through 2026. And without a competitor to put pressure on Madden, EA just isn't incentivized to make significant improvements to the game. And returning the game to the glory may be a tall order, but a lot of fans would settle for just fixing the glitches.
I think it was earlier this year that deal was renewed for another 6 years. It seems like there isn't going to be, anything changing anytime soon. This really sucks for the fans. There isn't any incentive for them to fix the game. You used to play a lot of Madden, right?
I did. I'll actually show you something. This is how hardcore I was at Madden. I've got it right here. So I used to play, I played so much Madden. This was one of the things I was awarded. It was like, you get this, and then you can go play to get on the Madden bus. I played a local tournament, and then I got to another tournament, and then I made it into the round to go play for the Madden bus. And I wasn't able to do it because I went off to college, and I played football in college.
You played real football, not digital football.
Yeah. But the thing is I started to notice that Madden just felt like I was continually getting the same game. And because of that, I was very dismayed by what was happening, and having had worked there as well, I just kind of like put it together that they weren't really focused on making a good game. They were just wanting to make money. And I put it down. I think 2012 was the last time I played Madden, and I was just like, no more. I can't do it anymore.
I wonder, I would love to see some stats. I don't think there are any out there of like how many people have fallen off from playing Madden. It just doesn't interest them. The game's not good. It's not different. When it people say it feels like the same game every year, that's because like literally, you know, a lot of the things are the same. Like the Super Bowl celebration is exactly the same as last
Yeah.
year's. Like I'm sure that's why it feels identical. You know, why would you buy, you know, the next installment of Madden? It seems like there's still a lot of diehards that will keep playing this game no matter what. And I think bringing the Metacritic score to 0.3 out of 100 is a little bit dramatic, but I understand why people are frustrated.
Yep, I couldn't agree more. And we really do need to see the competition for football happen. You know,
Right.
in football, like for what we call soccer, in that football, you have the PES and you have FIFA, so there is this push to have a better soccer game than your competitor, but that just doesn't exist in football itself, and we need it. And we're unfortunately the football fans are suffering this what seems to be like monopoly.
It does, right?
Yeah.
Because only Madden can create these NFL games. No other
Yeah.
company can.
Yeah.
You know, they're just gonna rake in the money from this. I hope in 6 years, you know, we're going to see a change. Maybe 2K is going to get on board. You
Yeah.
know, I kind of hope that fans demand something better because they're doing these hashtags, you know, flooding their reviews, but I don't know if that's, you know, enough pressure on EA. I think if
Yeah.
they stop buying the game, you know, that's going to show for itself.
Yeah, well, what I think is going to make a lot of money is our next story, because this update coming to Dead by Daylight is a free PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X update, as well as a graphical overhaul.
Dead by Daylight is coming to PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X this year, and not just as a technicality. The developer Behavior Interactive says the next-gen console versions will not only run at 4K resolution and 60 frames per second, but that it's aiming to create a remastered version of the game as well, which I think is needed.
The PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X ports won't be the only ones to receive the graphical update. Behavior promises this, that every version of the game will get updated animations, lighting, visual effects, modeling, and textures, with the intent to, quote-unquote, improve the immersion tenfold, making the environments as realistic as scary, a disturbing nightmare, the company says.
Behavior Interactive is also promising that players who purchase the game on current gen will receive a free next-gen upgrade, and it sounds like you may even get to choose which next-gen copy you want. So they said that current players who own the game and decide to buy a next-gen console will experience a seamless transition, getting Dead by Daylight for free on their new platform of choice, while keeping all progression, reads the press release. A Behavior representative wouldn't clarify when asked, though.
And here is the trailer that they used to show off the way the game is going to look.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice update.
can already tell the difference.
Much needed, even though it came out in 2016. To me, it kind of feels like an older game just because of the graphics.
Yeah.
Which I don't think it should, because it's so popular, you know, so many people play it.
Yes.
It's very current.
And of course,
There's
just
so much
the
spooky-
creepy music is just with it the whole time. I'm like, is there somebody behind me? No, I'm in my own home. It's daylight outside. I'm okay. The future starts September 8th.
That's so soon. We're
So
right
soon.
in the thick of it here.
Yeah, so we have to remember that cross progression is one of Dead by Daylight's recent selling points, by the way. So the company is letting you carry your progress across Nintendo Switch, Google Stadia, and PC via Steam. Now, it's not quite clear from the press release, but it does sound like that might be coming to the PlayStation and Xbox as well.
Of course, a free next-gen upgrade is nothing new. Similar promises were made by Bethesda, Bungie, CD Projekt Red, and Ubisoft. But if Dead by Daylight doesn't tie you down to buying within the same console manufacturer, then it could make its next-gen upgrade something special.
This is going to be exciting for all those DVD players out there. I'm very excited for them to get a graphical upgrade and get to experience some sort of, immersion that some of us who are getting these games that are coming out with this feeling, they'll finally have it and just continue to bolster the interest in playing this game. That is still, that's the number 36 trending video on YouTube right now. So
wow,
shows you the interest in Dead by Daylight.
Good for them. As Randa says, Halloween Horror Nights vibes. This comes out at the perfect time. I'm sure they did this on purpose. While a lot of Twitch streamers are already gearing up for Halloween because so many streamers are just like Halloween cosplay, Halloween costume. I could see a lot of Halloween Dead by Daylight streams. This comes out at a great time. I'm glad to see that Dead by Daylight is, trying to keep up with the community and new players because it's something, it's a game that, I have a lot of interest in, but there's a lot of competition. I want to play other games sometimes. So, getting this graphical, update, I think is a big pushing point that'll, bring in a lot of people that might have been kind of on the fence of whether they wanted to play this game or not.
Yeah, agreed. But one of the updates we did get involving another horror title, and we have enough time to show this trailer, is the last time we talked about Quantum Error was showing off what, a new haunting trailer. But since then, they've actually released their 4K gameplay trailer. So we finally get to see Quantum Error in action. And we're going to be showing it to you right here. All right. I am gearing up the video, Kaisa.
I am ready whenever you are.
Let's do it in 3, 2, 1.
Hey everyone, my name is Micah Jones, owner, lead developer / artist at Team Kill Media. I'm here to present
Micah Jones, we want you on DGN.
An early preview of gameplay.
I'm like, is he a voice actor? He didn't say he was a voice actor, but he sounds like one.
You take on the role of Jacob Thomas, a firefighter captain in the Garboa Fire District, sent to help save personnel from the burning Manad facility 30 miles off the coast of San Francisco. This gameplay preview takes place a few levels into the game when your partner has gone missing and you are trying to track him down before it's too late. This footage is early and still heavily in development, so all is subject to change and improve. And with that, here we go.
I'm like getting stressed already just watching this.
Oh, it's that iconic sound. That's that alien alarm.
Oh, is it?
Totally.
Alarms stress me out, like sirens and alarms in games. I can't.
Yeah, you gotta do your job.
Yeah. Fire safety.
Gotta get that paycheck. You're there to put out fires. And litter.
Pry open.
That's right, that's right.
Yeah, with the holds.
Nice. Got himself a shotgun. Oh! Oh boy. Creepy running.
Oh,
Whoa.
when you shot the leg, the like flesh on the leg.
The bone stain.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, it's still going. Okay.
Ah.
Whoa.
I got the blood spurting out. Kane's like, my dog barked and you jumped. Oh no.
Whoa. Is that his partner? Looks like it. All right.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Now we're putting on the gas mask.
Waffle says, I wonder if this will be a conserve the ammo game. If it is, it would. I hope not. It would feel super Resident Evil.
Okay.
It already does.
Nope.
To an extent.
Nope. Nope. No. No.
Oh.
No.
Oh, that's a lot. Oh, I hate when zombies are wiggly or it takes a lot of shots to take them down.
Go back to the other door. Okay. What is that?
Yeah, that looks like someone who recently turned.
You're here to put out fires.
Sounds like there's a lot more to do.
What? What is this?
What? What?
Gravitational anomaly detected.
Nope.
Oh my god, it's not doing anything!
Oh my god.
Is this game about putting out fires? This is Firefighter Simulator.
Yeah. I don't know where the minigame came from, but I love it. Yep.
I like that.
Oh, you're so slow. Just unleash Jesse the Body Ventura that thing. Yeah!
Nice.
Wait, what? How did we get here? Now we've got an axe?
An axe!
Where's the minigun?
Kick says that the creators of this game eat aliens, human centipede, and hostile for breakfast.
Clearly. Oh my god. That was intense.
That was really intense. I wonder if the story is going to be good or if it's going to kind of have no story, because I liked everything that I saw, but I'm like, is this all going to be kind of random? Which for me is kind of a deal breaker, because if there's no story, I'm like, oh, I'm not down with it. But I know that's not the case with a lot of people.
It doesn't feel like that. Like, it feels like there was a lot of layers to, like, what's that one dude typing on the computer? Why is fighter? Or how did you lose your partner? How have you just disappeared? When did you just show up together and you're like, oh, it's gone?
Right?
And then it's like, how did you go from the fight to then being over there? Some sort of teleportations happening.
Right. It's wild. It looks good. I thought that was a great, gameplay trailer, even though they prefaced it with saying like, oh, this is, early footage, things are subject to change or improve. I'm like, don't change anything. That was great.
That's the part too. I was like, this game's ready to come out, right? Because it's early. Like, you're trying to downplay, like, manage your expectations or whatever. And it's like, no, my expectations were superseded. What was that?
It makes me think that now that's just kind of a statement that developers are obliged to say, like, just in case there's any pushback. Like, even if it's done, just like say it's like early access or something. I don't know if that's true or not, but now I'm like, that looks like a finished product. That looks fantastic.
It really does. And Kix is like, are you guys going to stream this? This is insane. If I'm playing this when you're home, that's Kika, by the way, that's my wife. If I'm playing this when you're home, you were going to hear me scream the entire time. That was horrifying. The moment with the lights out and the thermal camera, I was like, no. Where is the exit sign? Where is the Alt F4 button?
I think the game looks great. I hope it's not so stressful that I'll hate it, because there is that threshold. Something makes me think that I think I'll be able to handle it, that it was, enough like Resident Evil that I'm like, I think I got this.
Oh yeah,
I can do it.
I agree too. Like you get the minigun, so the so you get the minigun, so the bullets. I didn't think the bullets are going to be too big of a factor, which is great. It's probably just going to be that they're super challenging enemies, and you do have a limited amount of ammo, or semi-limited amount of ammo. But some of the aspects of like what you were pointing out, that moment, I want to kind of pull it back up because it was so cool to actually see this in a game, was when he shotguns the first zombie's leg. I mean, this is going to be kind of brutal, obviously, for those who are not of age. I'm sorry to your parents. But here's the moment. He walks up. He sees, here comes the weird waddle run, and then he shoots, and the leg goes missing, but he's still walking.
Right here. Look!
Oh, my God.
And the bone's just exposed.
Oh, my God.
Thanks so much, Kane, for giving us up to Kicks in the Mix as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kane.
I love this level of detail in just attacking these zombies. You've got to pay attention to where you shoot, and you've got to, you've got to be careful with what you do in this game.
100%. I'm. You know what? I want to reach out to these quantum error devs. I want to see if maybe we can get somebody on DGN. I don't know. It might be crazy because they're doing these really big things with PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. But I want to talk to some of these people because, like the comment of like, what inspired you for this? What kind of gameplay are we feeling here? And what haven't we seen yet about this game? I want to know so much more about Quantum Error. It makes me feel like Dead Space, but for the PlayStation 5.
It does.
For the next gen, yeah.
Like that. Totally. Well, we got a lot of good gameplay, a lot of good trailers that we covered today.
We did, but that does bring us to the end of the DGN News Hour. So thank you all so very much for commenting, joining, getting the subs gifted, and following and liking. This is never possible without all of you amazing human beings.
Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for hanging out with us and engaging in chat. As always, we are running a rerun of today's episode as well as yesterday's episode. And tomorrow, we're actually going to do a rerun before our show as well. So if anyone comes in and is like, you started so much earlier, we did not. It's just going to be a rerun, but the show still will go live from 1 to 2 p.m. Pacific, as it does every weekday.
And if you are watching any of our clips or segments on YouTube, thank you so much for liking and following us there at Daily Gaming News. And also know to tune in every Monday through Friday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, as we are here sharing everything going on in the gaming industry. But for Daily Gaming News, I am Marone.
I am Kaisa. Thank you so much for joining, and I hope you all have a very happy Wednesday.
Everybody, have an amazing Wednesday.
Bye.